Ladies and gentlemen, we are now with UP Fighting Maroons. Henry Galinato. He's joining us fresh off helping lead UP to where are you guys now? Like 9-1, right? You guys
Yeah,
are
9-1.
9-1. 9 wins in 10 games. And your lone loss was a game where you didn't have your head coach and you didn't have your starting point guard from last season, JD Cagulangan. So safe to say you guys are on a great track right now. I mean, while other teams in the UAAP kind of sort out their issues, kind of sort out their maybe some weak points, the Fighting Maroons seem to be the team with the least questions to worry about. At this point of the season, Henry, is it safe to assume that you guys feel like y'all can beat anybody on any night?
Not saying that we could beat them. We still have to compete because everybody's, competing and everything. But I feel like we can compete with, anybody in the league. It's more about how we play and how we come out and start. If we want to come out throwing punches first, then we will. But
Right.
some it's recently we kind of haven't. But adding, my back in the mix has been really easy for us too.
It's not surprising because my mind was with you guys last season, right? But when you bring in a key piece of the rotation kind of midway through the season and someone who had been starting, someone who'd been playing a lot of minutes, and then you have a guy like Terrence who's taken up, a lot of those minutes and has played well in those minutes, and then you insert Mai and it's so seamless. But of course, that's from the outside perspective. That's from us watching. But for you guys, the players, has it been as seamless as it's looked?
It's not as hard as we thought it was going to be. Like
Yeah.
Terrence, it's obviously it's not Terrence's natural position,
Mm.
but he's been really good accustoming to it and stuff. Really good for me because my mic comes in when I go in, so
Yeah.
it's a lot easier for me to for the offensive flow and stuff. But no, it hasn't been as hard as we thought it would be.
Well, now that you mention you, I feel like early in the season, there was a bit of a transition phase. You were kind of figuring out where you fit in almost. Like you knew what you had to do, you knew your role when you went in the court, but the timing, you were catching up a little bit, the spots on the floor, where to get the ball, where to ask for the ball. But recently it's either the team has done a better job of getting the ball to you in the low post or nearer to the rim, but it seems like when you catch the ball now, you're just so much closer to the rim, and that's where you can use your post moves, the drop step, the spin from time to time, turn around. What's been the difference the last few weeks? Is it one of those cases where it's just repetition, 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 practice, and then it just gets better? Or was there like a major change that kind of helped you find your place?
Honestly, I think it was just more of a confidence thing. Like I
Mm,
think the LaSalle game really brought my confidence down a bit because I didn't play as good as I thought I could have played. And then I think the Adamson game, I built it up a bit more.
mm.
And then I think we played
Was it
FU. I did not play. I got sick, so I
right?
didn't play. So I sat out a week, and then I was, doing my best to, recover and all this. And we play NU that Saturday at MOA, and I was just so off. I didn't practice. I
What
just
was
went
this
straight into the
the first round game against NU?
yeah.
Oh, so that was in Moa on a Wednesday, I think, actually, on a
Oh, the
weekday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, the 1 p.m. game.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was at one. Yeah, yeah. So I was just, trying to catch my breath, but I don't think I should have played against NU. I came back from, being sick and stuff, so that dropped my confidence a lot down.
Were you
And then
recovering from COVID or a non-COVID illness?
no, it was a non-COVID illness, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was
Um,
the flu that was going around for a while. I feel like a lot of people I talked to got sick over the last few weeks.
yeah,
But yeah, it was pretty tough because a few members of my family got sick too. Was it one of those fevers that kind of just made you feel weak most of the time?
yeah, yes. Actually, it was the Adamson game.
Right.
After the Adamson game, I went to the mall across the street, SM
Yeah.
Plaza, I think,
Yeah.
and I just felt so fatigued the whole day or that whole time after there. And then when I came home and I woke up in the middle of the night, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sick. I
Oh
couldn't,
man.
I couldn't get up to use the restroom, any of that stuff. But I woke up really hot, and I had my room really cold.
Right.
And yeah, that NU game, I shouldn't have played. brought my confidence down again. And then we played Ateneo that Sunday, and
Yeah.
I was like, no, you know what? I gotta bring it up a bit, and channel in my inner guy. So when we played Ateneo, and I think it was more about like the crowd when I seen them, and then just the whole rivalry aspect of it. You know how we played them in the finals, and we won.
Yeah.
So it was more like me. I was like, oh, I gotta. It's my first game against Ateneo, so I want to make it a good one. My shots weren't falling, but I feel like I impacted the game pretty good.
Yeah,
And
and you had that moment there where I'm gonna bring that picture up in a little bit, but kind of played some mental games, shall we call it? I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you, what was it? Was that just decided in the moment, or was that more of plan that you wanted to make your presence known from a mental perspective? And by the way, just to clarify for those listening, what we're talking about here is the block you had on Josh Lazaroff, the Blue Eagles, and where I think you might have said something after, or just let out a roar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was no ill will towards the thing. It was just more about once I got that block, I was like, oh, so I had just it was just more about being hyped. So I had to let that roar out, and then sprinted back down and got that layup, and that made me
Right.
really happy.
Yeah. Do you see my screen right now? So this is the picture I'm talking about. Do
Yeah,
you see my screen? So
yeah,
that was an in the moment kind of thing, would you say?
yeah.
Did he say anything back after you roared, like when he got back down, or
I don't think so. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to just did that, and I was like, oh, we're back on offense, so I had to run back down.
right, yeah. But after that game, did you feel like, okay, I have arrived in the UAAP? Because not only was it a big game, like you said, it was a rivalry game, right? It was a team you guys beat in the finals, but you played pretty well. I thought that was your coming out game this season because that was the game I felt like you had the most impact, even if you weren't scoring the ball a lot or pulling down every rebound. You were just a presence in the paint. Like when you look back on it now, did that change something for you?
Yeah, they gave me a lot of confidence actually. Just and then my teammates, patting me on the back, and giving me that extra I needed. But no, I could say that that's game really brought out the best of me now, and I'm just trying to build off of it.
Yeah. And after the game, you seemed like you were really thrilled with how you performed too. And it was evident with the following games because since then, you've just played like a more confident guy when you're on the court, right? It's almost as if you just know that you belong now. And sometimes for basketball players, once you guys know that you fit somewhere, it just kind of unlocks something.
Well, yeah, I mean, like when I first met you, it was during the COVID, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember.
I haven't
I
played
think,
I haven't played an organized game since then,
yeah.
since 2020. So I think I just was trying to catch my groove again, and it was just it was really fun.
I wanted to bring up something interesting because you are one of the guys who, from the United States, came to play basketball here in the Philippines. Now, first game of the season, this was Ateneo FEU. After the game, so we looked at the stat sheet, right? And we noticed, okay, Kai Balungay played well in the preseason, but didn't play well. His first game. Paul Garcia also struggled a little bit. Some of the other guys. And Coach Tab mentioned that, for a lot of the guys who come from the States, they aren't used to this type of environment, the crowd noise, the drums, the intensity, the trash talking, just it doesn't feel like just a normal basketball game for them. And I believe Zave also had moments last season where the intensity, the difference of the crowd intensity in the UAAP was something that he had to internalize in terms of how to approach it so that it wouldn't affect his game. For you, was there any transition of that sort?
I can say yes because I didn't really play in a very big conference back
Mm.
home. Like me and Zay played in the same conference, but I think the max amount of people, the biggest crowd I've had at a home game was, I think, over 200 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I think the transition of the environment and the amount of fans that come out, and I guess the whole UP community, they're just UP fans really really die hard fans, man, and I love them
Right.
all. So it's really nice to have them behind you. But no, I think the whole environment aspect of it was really a big change for me too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure of it. And you know what, though? I will say it seems like the crowd aspect motivates you more than puts pressure on you. Or do you like it? The bigger crowds, instead of playing in front of 200 people, you're playing in front of almost like 15,000 some people some nights.
I mean, I know people that do like it, and feed off of it. I honestly, like, I'm being 100% true. Sometimes I zone out and I don't really know that they're there
Right.
until like it's a timeout or the ball's stopped. I don't really pay attention to it. I think, there's little moments I do see, you know, but it's more just focused on playing.
Yeah. You know, you guys, you're the only team so far this season to defeat every other opponent there's in the league. The only team you didn't beat in the first round was NU, and you guys took care of business right away to open the second round. So now that you've faced and defeated every opponent you've faced so far, I have to ask, which team, if you had to pick one, would you say has been the biggest challenge in terms of difficulty in pulling out the win? Am I right in assuming that it's probably Ateneo?
Ateneo's one of them. But honestly, for me, I think the hardest team, there's two of them actually. It's Adamson and NU. That
Okay.
it's so hard to put Adamson away that first round. I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah, the
we went into
overtime game.
overtime.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so nerve-wracking and everything. But it's just one of those teams that you can't let down because they're gonna keep fighting back, fighting back. And NU too, they have, just everybody on their team is just hard workers and everything. So you just have to give it your best. And they're just one of those scrappy teams, that Jerome guy on Adamson. Oh my God. That dude, I cannot block him. He's probably one dude I cannot block.
So we all know from like watching the games, Jerome's one hell of a player, right? We know
Hmm.
that he is crafty as all hell, shall we say. He
Yeah.
can score, he can create for other people. But from a player's perspective, a defender's perspective, when you see that guy coming off a screen, turning the corner or rejecting the screen, or even just like getting the ball in a handoff, what's the first thing that comes to your mind as a big man where you don't have like the lateral speed to match this guy?
For me, I try not to switch onto him. So it's like,
Smart.
but it's more about like just trying to stay in front of him until my guard recovers.
Hmm.
But it's not that he attacks me. I think he'll try to shoot it rather than take me off the dribble because
Right,
he can shoot it. But when that guy drives in, I feel like I'm gonna block him, but then he
right.
just throws it extra high and it just goes in. I'm just like, oh, dude.
And he likes giving that like playful smile after scoring
Yeah,
sometimes, right?
that dude.
And he he
Yeah,
he he doesn't really trash talk, but he says everything he needs to with like that smirk. Did he give you one
yeah.
of those smirks?
No, not that I've seen. No, but I've seen him do it to our players.
Right. But it's hard not to like Jerome because he's off the court. He seems to be like a fun-loving, like energetic, nice kind of guy. And have you talked to him off the court?
I haven't talked to him. I don't really talk to him, but from like Zav, James, CJ Karatukusan.
Yeah.
I mean, since he was his old teammate too in Adamson, he tells me like he's a good guy and everything. I was in the room when him and CJ were talking on the phone the day before we played them, and we're just just like talking crap to them, but it was just all fun.
So how often is that you guys? I mean, because I know that all of you guys on the court you're intense, right? But off the court, you guys are friends and you guys do like each other despite the team you play for. But do you ever like in the middle of the season or in between games just kind of talk to like people from other teams or your teammates maybe if they do this and just like fun trash talk each other?
Oh yeah, definitely. After we beat Ateneo, we went to this restaurant and we seen Chris Kuhn and these dudes, and we were just talking to them, just playful stuff. I think it's just more of like because we're all Phil M's, so it
Right,
was more
yeah.
of like that little connection we had, but it was just all fun.
Right. But so you guys got the last laugh that night, I'm guessing.
uh, we see you second round, dude.
See you around. That's a good way of putting it. You know, you brought up Jerome, and I wanted to mention something because this has been a topic online as of late, where there have been a few people who feel like maybe the sequence where Jerome gets hurts his ankle, is because JD stuck his an ankle out. Now, personally, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was incidental. Just curious, have the discussions on social media reached you guys? And if so, how do you feel about some of the discussions that are being said out there?
I personally don't think he did it on purpose because
Mm-mm.
I don't think my is that type of guy. And Jerome is out of all people, he's like one of the nicest guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I doubt my would do that on purpose, but I've seen it on social media. Like I've seen them comment on your stuff.
Right.
But is it more about what like the coach said is what's said or what? Because that's what
Well,
I seen.
I think that's really what kind of sparked it a little more last night, right? Coach Nash's tweet. He just said hi JD, hi Commish without other context. But that got some people riled up, I think to put it lightly. What are your thoughts about it?
I mean, I didn't really think much of it. I didn't understand what was going on. And like I try not to get into that stuff,
Yeah.
but I honestly don't it wasn't anything personal or it wasn't on purpose on my part, like how I said, but I don't think it's on purpose, man. It wasn't a bad play.
Yeah, when I looked at the video again this morning, and it felt more like Mai was positioning himself for a rebound or a box out. And in basketball, these things happen. Another interesting trend I noticed as of late, though, is that guys have been going down more. Not seriously, like Jerome got hurt, incidental, of course. Magbuhos got hurt the same game. And then yesterday in the Ateneo Lasal game, which you guys, I saw you guys there enjoying your pizza and like, I'm not sure if you guys were scouting or just chilling, but you guys were having some fun. But Padrigal got hurt later on. He sprained his ankle. A few Michael went down for a bit. Do you think the fact that the schedule has been compressed and you guys have been playing so many games with so little rest that factors into maybe some of the guys having these ailments?
From personal experience, I believe yes, because I
Mm,
feel like rest is really a big part of what you need and the right recovery time and stuff. But that's kind of in the game, that's different. I guess like it's more about what you do after practice, after the game. Like, are you going home? Are you going to go rest? Are you getting treatment after the game, after practice? It's more about you, you know. I don't really blame the schedule.
mm.
It's more about how you build up with your time,
So
what you
what's
do with your off time.
So what's your post-game recovery process? What do you like to do? Because I know you're more of a vet than some of your teammates, so you've been through it a little bit.
I come home and I just go straight to shower, straight to bed. That's it. I don't go do anything. I mean, I'll order my food, but I don't like to go walk around any of that stuff because I need my knees a break. And then nutrition is probably like a good thing for you too. If you don't have the right nutrition, your body doesn't recover good.
Right,
I
right.
think that plays a big factor as well.
So what's your diet right now? A lot of protein, I'm guessing.
Yes,
Grilled chicken, maybe some
I'm
lamb
on.
chops.
I do this thing called 6 pack chef meals.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, yeah, I've heard of
I do
them.
I do two a day. They're kind of pricey, but I do two a day, and then I cook two, and then I have two shakes, two protein
Two
shakes.
protein shakes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
awesome.
that's 4 meals and then two shakes throughout the day.
Awesome. Yeah, very good. And quick too. When you make those protein shakes, you don't really spend a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
time compared to like when you
it's
cook
like
a
two
meal.
minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Shake it, drink it, wash it. Pretty good. Hi everybody. We're just taking a quick break from the podcast because I want to share about a local brand that I am collaborating with, known as Whale Nutrition Co. Now, they are a supplement brand that will enhance your workouts, your fitness, your lifestyle, your mental well-being. They're proudly local. Ingredients are sourced globally, but they are locally produced and packed. They're FDA approved and loved with thousands of reviews on Shopee, Lazada, Beauty Manila, and other outlets. You can check those reviews for yourself. They have all natural protein powders sweetened with stevia, which is a plant-based sweetener, which is a better option for sugar if you're counting calories or looking to be healthier. And they have more than 20 flavors of protein powders to choose from. My personal favorites, the clean caramel, the mocha java, and the salted chocolate. But it's not just protein powders that they have. They also have BCA ACE to help you out with amino acids. They have vegan protein options, whey isolate protein options, creatine. They also have shakers and other merchandise to make you feel like you're part of the whale family. It's pretty awesome if you ask me. Now, here's some great news. They also announced recently that their Just Ube milk flavor is back in stock. This was really popular when it first came out, went out of stock real quick, but now that it's back in stock, do grab the opportunity to try it because it's delicious. I tried it for myself the last few days and I was absolutely thrilled. A lot of people, they say that after their workouts they're not exactly excited to have protein because it's not yummy, protein shakes. Well, I'm telling you, whale stuff is absolutely delicious and I'm excited to do my workouts in large part because I know after my workouts I'm going to get to try their stuff, their items, which are, like I mentioned, just great. So do check them out. And I have another set of good news for my listeners. Listeners of this podcast will get 5% off on their whale orders by using the promo code TNE. Again, that's letter T, letter N, letter E. That stands for the Navs effect. Go to their website, that's whale.co, WHEYL.co, and when you're in the checkout and you enter promo code TNE, you will get 5% off your order. Make sure to visit them on social media as well if you want to learn more about them. I will put links of that on the description box of this podcast or YouTube, wherever you are watching, and get the chance to experience whale for yourself. Alright, now back to the episode. Pretty good. Before the season started, I read that you mentioned one of your motivations for playing in season 85 compared to season 84 was the chance to play with Xavier. Am I right? Or
Yeah.
was it season 85 or 86? But I know that one of your motivations was to get to play with Xavier.
No, yeah. So the thing is, me and him came together, right?
Right.
And we played for the same conference, and just that whole we were the first two with Finland Nation to come, first two out of their we were their first two to come to college in the Philippines.
Right. Pioneers.
So
Pioneers.
yeah, there you go. So me being here in the Philippines, I haven't played in so long. So I didn't really want to come out season 84 how I did in the beginning of this season.
Right.
And then I was like, I should stay, sit out. I was eligible to sit out. So that's why I did it. And then another big reason was for me to play with Zav. I really wanted to play with Zav, and it's really good. It's fun to play with Zav.
So what would you have done had Zave accepted the offer to play in Taiwan?
Oh man, I still would have stayed, obviously, but we've been really sad. But I would have been really happy for him because he had that opportunity to go.
Were you talking with him while he was in the decision process? And as a teammate and friend, how do you balance that scale of, yeah, I want you to go for what's best for you, but at the same time, I kind of want to roll with you here for one season,
It's not that we talked about it. We didn't really talk about it, honestly. But, I would call him every once in a while, talk to him how he's doing, how his family is, what he's been doing. But as far as the whole getting an opportunity to go to Taiwan, no, I didn't talk to him about that.
Right.
We would just always talk oh yeah, we're gonna play this season now, next season together, man. You're 22, or he's 22 and I'm 32. It was just, I don't know, just making up little scenarios oh, I'm gonna throw you a lob, you're gonna dunk it, I'm gonna give you a lob, you're gonna dunk it. It was just, but it's happening now. All I can say is, I'm really grateful that he stayed.
Yeah, that's a great segue because I want to show you this video over here. So all right, let's watch that real quick. So there's the lob. I mean, there's a high-low pass and there's a dunk. And so a lot of people like this part, right? The chest bump, But I'm gonna tell you which part I'm most curious about. So you scream, you're passionate, you're clapping James over there, and then Dave just looks at you and he's telling you something, and the whole time I'm trying to figure out what he's telling you. He's looking at you and he's like, I've assumed 10 different things he might have told you, but maybe he could tell us what he actually told you in that instance.
He said, hey, and I wasn't hearing him because, I was like, and he said, bro, and I looked at him and he's like, do you know how hard you hit me? and I was like, no, my bad, man. And then that's why I smiled and looked away. But I didn't really see what happened until I looked up at the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
And me and him after the game, we were just laughing and laughing because there was different angles of the clip. But that clip right there was the funniest one because he just yeeted off the screen.
He was. I'm sure he wasn't mad because he did get an
No,
assist
no,
out of it too. But I'm sure he gave you a look as well. Like I maybe did not realize how strong you are.
no. He okay. So he told me he was like, "Bro, I didn't jump because I knew you were gonna bump me, but I didn't think you were gonna bump me that hard."
I'm guessing your teammates had like just an entire laugh about it too on the way
Oh
back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Who had the best comment about it? Like which teammate had the best like snarky thing to say about it?
Well, I don't know if you've seen how he came in a ghost costume, the little sheet.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
So was James. He was like, "Well, no wonder you brought your ghost costume, right?" I was like, "Bro, that's a really it's really clever that you did that."
Oh, oh. Oh, that's a good one. So, okay, let's say the situation happens again. You get a dunk, and you're feeling the passion, the adrenaline. Are you gonna look for Zay for another chest bump? And what is he gonna wear? Like pads all over just to make sure that you don't knock the wind off him.
I don't think I would have done that if I didn't get the technical because I got a
Okay,
technical, right?
right, right, yeah.
But
So yeah,
that was funny.
that was pretty that's the highlight of your season so far. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. The first time I had you on Zoom, that was during the pandemic, and the school you mentioned to me that you were looking at that time was University of the East. I believe they were at least probably the most how were well, at that point they were showing the most effort in terms of recruiting you. But ultimately, you land with UP. So, were there other schools that tried to recruit you after UE? And how did you end up with UP?
I just believe it was Adamson at first,
Okay.
and then UE came into the picture, and I think UE just gave more. They were more eager,
Mm-mm.
and we were gonna go with it, but Fairline Nation was telling me like, hold up, we might get another school, but they weren't telling me, and I was like, okay. So I was just trying to think which school was wanting to get me, and they hit me with okay, you're going to UP with Zav. I was like,
Oh, you
okay.
you must have loved that.
I was like, all right, man, just light me up. I'm going. No questions. I just went.
No, they say that first impressions last, and I believe you arrived here sometime in August. So, could you share maybe some of the first impressions you had of like coaches and teammates? Like, were there any first interactions that until now you just like remember like right off the top of your head?
When I came back from my break in the US. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
asking?
When you flew back
Okay,
here. Or even like the first
so
time you met everybody, like you can even go back that far.
when I first came back in August, we had a fill oil game that day. It
Right,
was
yeah.
against yeah, it was against UE, but I didn't play. I just my coach. It was Coach Snook that picked me up
Mm,
for my place. This dude just gave me the biggest smile because me and him like have this insider that he calls me that he's my agent, and like
right.
I'm like agent, where's all my stuff that you promised to get me? This and that. And he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna get it for you. And he did it. To this day, he still has not got me anything. And he made me sign a paper and all this, but that my first interaction with all the guys, the first person I seen was Antonio Xavier.
Okay, Eusebio, yeah.
So yeah, I was messaging him and I was like, bro, where are you at? And then he was like, I'm at the hotel, the university hotel. So I go over there, and then the first thing I do is I give him a big hug because I missed the guy, and we go to Roddick's because there's Roddick's right by
Oh,
our practice.
classic Roddick Stapa. You got to have
Yes.
that, yeah.
hmm So we went to Roddick's before we took off on the bus to go to the
Yeah,
Phil,
yeah.
and Coach Mo was in the in the bus. And he's like, What are you doing here?" I was like, "What do you mean? What are you doing? You told me like you were gonna be in the bus." I was like, "Okay." And then that's when I met the two new NU boys,
Right.
Raylan and John John.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't really talk to me at first, but I mean, now I mean, those guys are just funniest dudes. And when we went to the game, that's when I seen everybody, and everybody was happy and excited to see me.
That's
Um,
awesome.
mhm.
No one gave you a chest bump though that made you flag,
No,
right?
no, no, no.
So, who's the funniest guy on the team?
The funniest?
Yeah. The one who just pulls out all the pranks and just gets everyone to laugh. For some reason, I think it's Terrence.
Terrence is one of them, right? But there's little stuff that Terrence does to me that makes me laugh, but
Hmm.
I don't think makes the other guys laugh as hard because
Okay.
Terrence's hands are always wet. And this dude,
Okay.
when he always kind of try to shake my hand, I'm like, bro, wipe your hand. And he's like, my bad. So yeah. And he wipes his hand on his shorts, and he's like, bro, it's still wet. Get out of here. That makes me laugh. Um, but the funniest dude I think is Aldous for
They're
me.
clueless. They're cool, yes.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, that guy makes me laugh. I don't know, just little movements because he TikTok is pretty big now.
Right,
So
yeah.
this dude tries to do all kinds of TikToks at practice, and it just makes me laugh.
Right, right, right. Did the coaches have a comment about Sean's TikToks? They have something to say about it?
Yeah, they're just like, "What are you doing, man? We're trying to practice, and you're over here." And he's like, he just the way he like does his little head movements and like his little comments that he makes. But yeah, it's just that guy's pretty funny, and AJ too,
Are you
Madrigal.
are you gonna get on TikTok as well? Maybe you and Zav could start like a chest bump TikTok series where you
There's
just
already a chest bump video.
right.
There's two videos that I've seen on TikTok that
I think that you created a meme that day because that chest bump, like you could just use it for any
yeah,
scenario.
it
Like
got famous.
it did, yeah. Like
It got big.
Zav, like when it's a Monday, so Zav is Monday, and then all the work stress could be you chest bumping Zav. Or you could be Monday and Zav is like the human being, and it's like Monday just comes and hits you right on the chest.
Hmm.
No, but I wanted to ask you next about just the experience of being in UP. It's a beautiful campus, obviously, and I also know it might be easy for newcomers to get lost. So, did you ever get lost in campus? And did you ever panic at any time?
Well, yeah. So at the time we wanted to go shoot around. Me and Zay were gonna go shoot around at the CHK gym where the
Mm,
women practice.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
This is when we first came here, and we've only been to that gym one time. And then the day after that, they said, "Okay, you guys got to go on your own." So
Hmm.
me and Xavier were just trying to figure out where this place is at, and we just remember they told us go by the soccer field and keep walking, and I was like, "All right." We kept walking and walking, and we missed the right we were supposed to take. I was like, "Dude, where are we at?" And then we make a left, we go all the way back around, and we end up at the oval.
Right.
I was like, "Oh my god!" And we asked the guard, and the guard didn't really know how to talk English, so but he's like, and then we're like, the gym, where's the gym? He's like, oh, gym over there.
Yeah.
And we had to walk another 20 minutes.
Hey, at least you got your warm up in, right?
Yeah.
All right. Going back to the UAAP, you mentioned Jerome as one of the toughest guys to guard. Now, while we're at that topic, who are some of the other like guys around the league that when you see them in the scouting report, you're just immediately like, this is gonna be a challenge.
As for guys I guard or just in general?
Just like in general, league wide, if you could like mention the players who really like as a as a basketball competitor and as a fan, you're like that guy's got game.
One, Shawnee.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah, he's a hooper, that guy. Mike Phillips, that guy got a motor on that man. Nick Caballero,
Ooh,
that guy,
Cabanero.
he's a guy.
Dude can ball, yeah.
Hmm. He's very passionate, man. I like how he plays. He's a hustle player too.
Any of the NU guys? Steve Nash Enriquez, maybe?
And that guy, he's pretty sneaky, man. That kid,
Do you think the hair works to his advantage? Sometimes he
man.
kind of
Yeah, he be covering his eyes, can't even see where he's gonna pass the ball. No, it's kind of hard, man, because like he'll go up to go, try to do a layup,
right.
and I want to go up to contest it, and he just throws it, dumps down right away, and I'm like, damn, he got me like twice on that. Like, all right, the next one I want to do it, I go jump again, and he dumps it down. I'm like,
Right.
I just told you not to do it again. Yeah, Steve Nash is another one, and I didn't play any of the FU guys, so I can't really say
Mm.
the big the big man from Adamson, Cedric.
Manzano, yeah, he can jump.
Yeah,
That guy.
he's that guy. That guy's good. He had a really good game yesterday.
For sure, for sure. Since we've talked about basketball a lot, we were talking a little bit about gaming before we started this pod. So you're into PlayStation gaming, but what else are you into? I mean, when you're chilling and laying low, what's your go-to stuff?
I like drawing.
Oh,
Drawing's pretty.
interesting.
It's really common,
You
but I
got
don't
any
color it. It's just
you
weird.
you got any sketches right now there that you can show?
No, they're not here with me.
Okay, but you draw here since you got to UP, you still draw.
Yeah.
And what do you like to draw? Like just random images that come to mind, or do you have like a model that you try to copy?
No, I just like drawing like stuff that I've seen. Like I'll draw cartoons, like adult cartoons, like Family Guy, Simpsons, stuff like that.
Mm.
And then I'll try to make my own type of person with that type of
Mm.
font, kind of. You know what I mean?
Have you ever tried making art with yourself as the inspiration?
No, I actually haven't. Should.
Yeah, you should.
Other than that, man, I don't do anything. I just lay in bed, talk to my girlfriend,
Mm.
um, talk to my family, or just game the whole time.
Can long distance be a challenge for an athlete with like so many demands already? And on top of that, academics as well.
Long distance relationship.
I mean, like, yeah, long distance relationship with your girlfriend, for example.
It was not as tough as I thought it was going to be because she's pretty busy throughout the day. And then, you know, when she wakes up, I'm going to sleep, and then
Mm.
she goes to work. So she's occupied those hours I'm asleep. So by the time I wake up, we have like, like little date nights and stuff. So we
FaceTime.
could, yeah, FaceTime each other. And those few hours that we have together, they're worth it. And then by the time she goes to sleep, I basically start my day already. So I'll go train and then I'll go to practice. And then by the time we're done with practice, she'll be getting up again.
Right.
So it's just, just repetitive. So it's not like very hard. And especially because she's coming in December to come watch us play.
Oh, nice, nice. She'll be here in time for the final four or the finals or
Yeah, the final
final.
four she'll be here.
That's how you looking
My
forward to
parents as
that?
well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Will they get to stay with you guys at the university hotel, or by then is it more of just like the team has to stay together and like it's a little like concentrated towards the goal?
I'm gonna try and keep my parents in BGC so
Mm,
they could experience how like it's nice over there, and I'll try to go and visit them once in a while. But it's not like I'm gonna be able to be with them a lot because I'm
yeah.
gonna be very occupied. But after season is when we'll go vacation. Do you have any like places you recommend going?
Oh, definitely. Are there any cuisines that you guys like specifically?
Cuisines?
Yeah, like like do you guys like Japanese, American food, Chinese, Italian?
Anything, man. Anything.
Okay, you know what? I will give you like a place, not just in BGC. I'll give you a place for like each location. I'll send you a message and I'll try to make sure that you guys have a great time.
You got to give me some like resort places I gotta go to. I heard like Boracay is pretty nice, but
Ooh, oh,
I'm trying to go to
beaches.
like beaches. There you go.
Oh yeah, so definitely Boracay. Palawan, if you guys can manage it as well. That's another
Wow.
Coron, Palawan's great. And if you guys are looking for like road trips in terms of drives, there are a bunch in Batangas that are great to go to.
Gotta go
Zambales is
there.
another place. And even just like driving, have you been to Tagaytay?
No, we're going actually this week to go train over there.
Oh, nice, nice. You guys are training over there. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Tagaytay is also a great place, especially when the weather is cold, and you gotta eat at Antonio's, bro. That restaurant is fire.
Antonio's.
Antonio's in Tagaytay, fire. Bag of beans is great as well. I'm a foodie at heart. I can give you like a list and like places to go to. I got you. I got you. But I do want to ask you about your future plans though. So after the season is done, is it the PBA draft that's next, or are you perhaps gearing for a shot to play somewhere in Asia or maybe abroad?
That's always the option, but I would like to play in the PBA.
Hmm.
That's my first option, and then if there's another option about going abroad, somewhere in Asia. I would take that. I'll give those a chance as well, but PBA is my first option.
You think you'd fit into the PBA game? Have you watched PBA games? And the physicality, the style of play, the sometimes fast-paced action. Does it remind you of UAP a little bit?
It's not, honestly, it is not as fast as the UA. I feel like the UAP is a lot faster.
Oh, way faster,
Now that
yeah,
I
for sure.
we went to go watch Terra Firma and Converge play
Hmm.
in the beginning of the season, and that's when the no height limit imports are playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to see them, and then Quincy Miller, he's an ex NBA
Mm.
player.
Yeah, he's
So it's
good.
actually it was pretty cool to watch that. But no, I was just like, you know, throwing images in my head. I'm like, oh look, like you could play there. That'd be so nice to play here, and you could play
Definitely.
with these dudes.
Any team you'd like to play for in the PBA? Maybe
Oh,
Converge
but
because
obviously, Converge. There's a bunch of fill-ins on there.
yeah, yeah.
A bunch of fill-ins on Converge, but I want to play for San Miguel or Ginebra.
Oh, the classics. Of course. You get the fan support immediately as well. Kind of like UP, especially with Ginebra.
UP, yeah, man, and UP fans, I'm telling you, there's something else.
Definitely. That's a great way to describe it. So PBA. Now, you'd fit in, especially because I feel like guys, the PBA still play in the low block. But do you want to expand your game a little bit once you get to the pros? I know you haven't shown off like a long range game yet in the UAP, but can you hit threes? Can you hit mid range jumpers as well?
Oh, I'm doing it at practice, but
Okay.
I'm not wanting to disturb the flow I have right now
Yeah.
because I'm still trying to get my touch back in the game. So if I start shooting shots, and I'm not going to want to go in the paint anymore.
Hmm.
So I do my little face ups in the at practice, my shooting threes in practice, but I mainly just practice in the paint. And but no, I've given some thought, man. I want to expand my. It gets kind of just boring inside the paint. I want to shoot,
I mean,
especially if you get older.
yeah, you got 4 games left in the elimination round. You gotta pop a three in one of those games sometime. Maybe
I
when
shot a three against Ateneo. I shot
oh,
one three, but I missed
okay.
it.
Now, well, see, now you gotta make a three, like one of your remaining games, right? That will
Yeah,
wake up the crowd. That will wake up the crowd
I
for
got
sure.
you.
Okay, we'll be looking for it. I'll make sure to like um post that video as well, especially the chest bump you'll be giving Zav after you hit the three. Because if you hit a three in the game, I think Zav will have to run away or something.
Oh man, we were talking about celebrations about doing hitting a three if I hit my first three in the UAP. When he does celebrations, it's really funny.
Awesome. So there's one thing I wanted to ask you. I did see you guys at the game yesterday, obviously enjoying, but I'm guessing part of the reason y'all went to the game too was to maybe scout Ateneo and LaSalle a little bit. So do you have some takeaways from how last night, it's Sunday as we record this, takeaways from Saturday night's contest?
Yeah, we went to go watch the players, but honestly, we kind of went to go watch as it's our last Ateneo LaSalle game we get to watch with
Hmm.
these type like I don't think Kwame's playing anymore, right? So it's kind
Yeah,
of
might be
cool
his
to
last
watch Kwame
season.
play. Yeah, and basically like a fan, if you want to say. That's
Yes.
how we came to go watch, and it was some key things we saw was like Chris Coon had a really good game too.
Oh, he was great. Great, yeah.
Yeah, that guy had that steal and he hit that buzzer beater.
That was when you kind of knew, like, this game is over by the end of the third quarter. That it just felt like
Yeah,
that shot demoralized the other side. When you look at LaSalle, now a lot of people expected LaSalle would be one of the contenders entering the season. And I'm sure you watched last season in the final four. Like LaSalle pushed you guys, you weren't playing, but obviously you guys to the limit in the final four series, right? Are
hmm
you surprised, like everybody else, about how they've played? They're now 3-6 this season.
yeah. I was kind of surprised, but I mean, the UAP this season is pretty stacked. Honestly, everybody's in even. Like
Right.
UE got really good. Adamson's always good, and you got really good too. And then there's Ateneo, there's just LaSalle. I don't know. Maybe they just need they just got some little kinks they got to fix, but I feel like they still got a chance.
Yeah, so the third and second seeds look a little out of the picture for them right now. So if they do make the final four, realistically, it might be the fourth seed, which means if you guys are the first seed, and if Right now, it's a big if. If LaSalle makes the 4 seed, do you think that would be a good matchup for you guys?
Oh, definitely. Always a LaSalle matchup and UP matchup are always good. See, the thing is, I don't understand how, because you know how they canceled those games that
Right.
Saturday. So how does
Hmm.
that work out?
I think there's a new date for it already. I think it's a sometime late November after the break.
Okay.
And you guys have one more matchup against LaSalle in the elimination round.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Now that leads me to my next question. You guys are 9-1. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that right now the Maroons are the deepest team in the UAAP. I mean, I was telling people the other day, your second unit could compete with any starting unit in the league, with you and Zav and Harold and Cyril and JD now. I mean, you and Zav as a front court, you're the backup front court of UP, but you can compete with any front court in the league as well. So you guys are the deepest team in the UAP, it feels like. And you have the experience, you have the late game execution. But if I ask you right now, what could possibly be the biggest challenge for the Fighting Maroons to repeat as UAP champions? What would your answer be?
Biggest challenge.
Mm-mm.
I feel like it's just ourselves, you know.
Mm.
I mean, it's the beginning of the season, it was pretty hectic for us,
Yeah.
but we've been really good lately. So we want to keep that flow going, but I feel like if we let down, then I think that's probably our the biggest challenge is just, our biggest challenge is ourselves, honestly.
Are you confident you guys are going to be back in the finals?
I'm very confident we are. Not no like no cocky stuff, but I feel like we will.
An internal belief is what I'm guessing, right? How about the championship? Do you feel like it's your championship to lose?
To lose,
Yeah.
I feel like we'll win.
So what I said to lose, meaning like you guys are the favorites, like it's yours to lose. Do you feel that right now you guys are in the best position to win it?
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like we are, especially coming off a win.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I like the confident answer. And I'm looking forward, if you guys do win, I'm looking forward to the chest bumps that you'll be handing to everyone. I mean, you gotta tell your teammates to like line up one by one and just receive those
I'm
chest
doing
bumps.
that. I got you.
All right. Well, Henry, this was a great hour. I know we planned to go for like 30 to 40 minutes, but just thank you for all the stories you shared, man, and the
Hey,
insights. And I appreciate you, bro.
hey, thank you for having me.
Anytime. I'll catch you next time, buddy.
All right, see ya. Thank you.